Alright, welcome back. Today I really want to dive into my latest short film, which is The Mask We Wear, and really talk about like what I've learned, what I can improve in, what worked, what didn't, and how I'm gonna level up as a filmmaker at 17. So this isn't really gonna be a reaction video, it's gonna be more of me being just completely honest with myself, and I'm trying to grow in every project and see what I can do better every single time. And I may start doing this a little bit more consistently, but right now, this is a way for me to study my own work. And I want you guys, like, in the comments, please critique my work, especially on TikTok and all of that. I see your guys' comments, I respond back, and at the end of the day, I take them as constructive criticism, and it helps a lot. So let me dive right into it, and let's go. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get right into it.
You ever feel like the world's been rehearsed before you even show up? Like everyone knows their lines, but no one remembers why? The chairs scrape, the pencils tap, yet the rhythm never changes. I follow it because it's easier than wondering who I am without it.
Alright, I just want to talk about this opening scene for a minute because I really liked it, and I was inspired by Your Friends and Family, which is actually on Apple TV. Amazing show. I absolutely love it. And another one is Landman, but that specifically was inspired by that. And you see how I did the B-roll. I felt like that was important for that, you know. And I feel like the use of audio was also really nice. I did do a room tone in the past. I have forgotten about doing that, and like the past experiences that I have had has been like within directing and producing. So that's kind of like the mindset I have. It's like, you know, I'm trying to think also as a filmmaker because I like to think I am creative. But yeah, I'm kind of venturing out, which I feel like me taking this class, because I'm 17, this is a high school career tech class, and I think me taking this class is going to benefit me a whole lot, especially for on-set experience and learning other jobs and learning how they operate. It's going to be, I think, game changer for me personally. But yeah, also, now that we're here, I do love this shot. Let's actually let it play a little bit.
How'd you start your assignment?
I love the sound too. The first opening scene was, I know I keep saying it, but it was inspired by Your Friends and Family, or I'm sorry, Your Friends and Neighbors. Yeah, with that whole sound. Also, scoring for Christina J. She did an amazing job. I think I did a great use of resources and the people that I know, which that's kind of what comes with producing, is, you know, being able to network and know people. I have been working on that. Also, like public speaking. I'm out in front of a camera right now, which is pretty uncomfortable for me, which, you know, I have done it in the past, but it's not necessarily my thing. But, you know, I've been loving it so far, so I haven't had a problem with it. But I keep going on these tangents, but let's focus. So in that interview, let's actually go back. So in this scene, it gave me like interview vibes. So when it was filmed, I noticed how sharp it was, like how actually like crisp and clean it was. And this was filmed 28 to 70 on EOS R. So just knowing that, like, I think it was also at 50, so the background was super blurred, and it kind of gave an interview feel, which isn't necessarily what you want to go for. But nonetheless, I do like the shot regardless. it was a pretty basic lighting setup, which I have been, trying to learn. Well, I have been learning a lot just in these past films. I have been learning a lot. So I think this was a hair light with just I think the softbox was, don't get me lying, but maybe like a 3x3. It was a pretty big softbox here. I did like the shot though. I wish I used like more contrast. I do need to get in the habit of using like negative fill and yeah. But honestly, this was, I think it's been about 2 weeks to a month I filmed this. So just knowing how much I have learned in that time span is impressive to me. So, and also I do want to do this just because I know I said it before, but your guys' critiques is really everything. That's what I have, and please comment.
Assignment.
Yeah, so I'll start. They tell you to find yourself, but what if the you they're talking about was built by everything you've ever tried to fit into? Every smile, every glance, it's all an enigma, beautiful on the surface, but hollow underneath.
Okay, I know you guys hear it. I hear it. The voiceover. It's extremely like wet. Yeah, like I know like when I was doing this, like I knew I could hear it, but I was thinking it could be edited out, which there's not much I could do. Like I did hear it and let him know, but it is a little wet, but if we just completely disregard that, focusing on the actual script itself. So there's like two, three things. So first, it does like when he says it, I actually casted him because I'm knowing like I already knew his personality and I knew it could fit in this role. So I almost wanted him to play like a version of himself. But when he reads the script, he's reading it as himself and not necessarily in character, so it almost sounds a little bit, it sounds scripted, right? So another thing is I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, that might have been the two things. The voice, yeah. I was kind of getting lazy towards it because I do have a tendency to feel like, you know, like I get unmotivated almost. Like once it gets to a certain point, I'm already seeing it progress and I kind of get over that feeling of like seeing something I just created, which is amazing to me. That's one of the best feelings. But once you get over that, it's almost like you're over it. Like, I don't even want to see this anymore. But if I took a little bit more time, I could have redone it and rescripted it. Oh, getting back to my point, which was when I got critiques for what I wrote already, it was already recorded. So this bit, a bit towards the end, was also already recorded. I got the critique, and then after that, I'm like filling in gaps because I see what I missed. They like shout out to Lil, she helped me with it. I see what I missed, and then I rewrote it. I actually didn't rewrite it. I actually basically just added an insert on top of it, and then I feel like it can almost clash a little bit, but I don't think you notice it too much. But I know like what happened, so I'm just a bit aware of it.
It's strange how something so ordinary can start to feel like an enigma. The faces, the laughter, even the silence, all moving in perfect rhythm. like they're hiding something deeper beneath the surface. Out here, the air feels different. The sound slows down like I finally escaped.
Alright, so just in like that walking scene, there's already like things that I noticed before. And when I did get lazy with it, it was like the color grading, like it lagged. Like I'm gonna actually show you the clip right now. But like the walls are different colors. It also was like a week apart, so the auto balance I don't think was set. It was like 2 different days. So as you can see, like it's super white right here. And then it goes back to like a cream color. So that's something I'm trying to look out for, which I have made like color grading videos in the past, but you kind of just got to be like, I'm not that into color grading, so I'm still working on it. And also, like I said, this was shot in log, so there's not too much I could have worked with there, but yeah, that was a sloppy job. Like, it's 2 completely different clips, which I guess could like invoke emotion, but that's not necessarily what I was going for, so that doesn't necessarily count either. But honestly, that whole clip should have just been like a darker, colder, grittier vibe, but that's just how it turned out.
But when I breathe, it's the same air repeating itself. The birds chirp in the same way, even when the wind feels choreographed. And then you see it, the enigma itself, not in their faces, but in your own reflection. 2 versions of you, one pretending not to notice, the other finally realizing there's nothing real left to hide behind.
I almost want to like insert the raw file just so you guys can hear it, but it's just so wet. Like the voice, I cannot get over it. But regardless, I like this shot a lot too, which it's just simple masking, which honestly I think it was 9 o'clock. The masking didn't necessarily work. Like I literally had to change the color grading because we shot it in the span of maybe 2 minutes, and it was 2 dramatically different shots. Like, the sun was up in one was darker, but I think I did a pretty good job of stitching that together, which here I think I did a great job on the color correcting. I like this shot a lot. I like what he's saying. I like the music. I think I did a great job of using effects as well. I used a lot of audio effects. None of these sounds are real, so I think so far pretty good.
You start to wonder which one is wearing the mask, or if maybe the mask learned how to breathe on its own. Maybe that's what the enigma really is. Not the mask we wear, but the space between who we are and who we pretend to be. We keep layering faces until the real one fades, until even we forgot what it looked like. And the scariest part, when it finally fits so well, you forget you ever had a face underneath.
Alright, let's stop here before we get a little bit too far. One thing I did forget to mention is starting from black. I didn't know how important that was before. Starting from like a clean start, going on, I will make sure I do that. But actually, if somebody does know like why that is, please let me know, because I am curious. All right, so let's talk about the story a little bit. So it's not necessarily about like him going through these exact experiences. It's more of him like processing them. And I feel like if I'm not exactly sure when I was writing it exactly what I was thinking because I knew how I wanted this to go. I knew what I wanted it to be about, but I think the execution part kind of lacked in the I'm drawing a blank again. Like just him talking to people. I think it needed to be more interaction. That's the word. Needed to be more interaction, but I think it's good because he is doing a voiceover, so he's kind of processing this internally, which actually somebody in the PM class did have the exact same idea, which is pretty funny. But he's doing more of a processing on the outside. So I'm excited about that as well. But if the theme was going to be like him wearing faces, the film needed to be more of him actually doing that in moments of that. So next time I definitely want to show like a before and after. I didn't necessarily want this to be like a bad or good or like a that situation. I wanted it to be more of a he can pretend that part, just him acting out having these faces on, and then him kind of processing it and like having that evolution on breaking free from this, if that makes sense. But definitely, I like the location and I like the pacing of this, but I almost wish it was a little bit more. Like, this school was pretty big. I wish it was a little bit more, though. I wish there was, yeah, I definitely wish that. Um, I like the use of the outdoor spaces. I like the actual cut that kind of changes into what could almost be a different day, and how a lot of these scenes could be necessarily fantasy because how many people are looking at you, the entire class looking at you. That's not happening. But it yeah, the voiceover definitely didn't sound like lived in. His name is Josh. You should actually go check him out. I'm gonna link his Instagram right now. But he did an amazing job on this film. I'm very proud of it. But he was definitely playing a character, but reading it as himself. So I definitely want to put him in that environment that changes the emotion while they're recording. So yeah, we're closing in on it. We've got about 2 more. And there we go. So I love this title card. I absolutely love it. Shout out to Lel again. She did a great job on it. Yeah, I love that animation. So I think the overall reflection, it has a strong foundation, like technically, which that's what I'm good at, like going through the jobs that I have worked on, what I have done in the past, and kind of how I started in this industry. I did do a lot of freelance, so I did have a good idea of how certain things worked, but which tends to be, well, it's technically. I'm good at the technical aspect of things like the lighting, the camera settings, how to work certain things, camera blocking. That's what I did, but now, my thing really is just like producing and directing. That's my thing. But I think learning this as a whole is very important. I think you should know just about everything there is to know about a set as a director. And yeah, I don't think your knowledge should really lack in any category. So I, making these films, this is what it's helping me with, and so far, so good. So I haven't had another set experience after these films that I've made. The last one was during the summer. I believe during the summer. I'm trying to think. But regardless, it will definitely help me in the long run. Um, the next film will need to. I want to sharpen like the storytelling and the style. I see a lot of people at CCS Detroit in film. They're so creative. Like some people's minds, they can just go there and have these amazing ideas. But I like to kind of stay in my lane. Like a lot of that is more. That's just different from my style. My style is kind of this. Like I don't use crazy amount of VFX. I like it to be real life, real things, real stuff, and that's just what it is. But I think working on more sets, I think I can gain like more of that fantasy vibe to like the films that I do work on, which necessarily isn't my thing. Like I like my favorite director, Martin Scorsese. I think that's more of the side I'm on, more of like the Irishman, Taxi Driver type of vibe. But you know, I definitely want to be able to feel like I can almost work on any project. But this did teach me about who I am becoming as a filmmaker and just improving myself. That's all this is right now. Everything here is to improve myself. I'm recording. I'm recording to improve myself. I'm critiquing to improve myself. I made this film to improve myself. And right now, we're only 2 films so far. We've had 2 films, Vibrations. You should go watch that. And this, The Mask We Wear. Let's talk about a bit about the momentum, and I think we are complete. All right, so talking a bit about the momentum, a lot of feedback I did get is like it doesn't just stop like when the film ends. So when you're sitting in the movie theater at Endgame or whatever, I can't remember what Marvel movie it was, but it ended like super suddenly. Like it was super sudden, and people are still like processing this information. And I feel like with credits that can kind of just like keep going and not stop, and you don't have a problem processing this, you still get the same vibe as you did while watching it. It just gives you like some processing time. And I feel like these credits are a little bit too long. Like it's a little bit drawn out. I think I did my best when it comes to the pacing. I wanted you to be able to see it, but it should have really only been my name and Josh's name. And then after that, you could have just I could have just made like a graphic design of it looking like a teacher wrote all of these things. But I think nonetheless, it's a pretty good film, and submitted for like awards and stuff, I feel like I definitely have a high chance of um, getting high points in it. So it did, I feel like that's just one of these things that kind of killed the energy, and it sat for a little bit long. It kind of took you out of the moment that you just felt while watching this. So it should feel more of like an extension of like the peak, like the final emotion. And whether that means like pacing or like the musical cue, which I feel like the music did help, but the pacing kind of, it's just like, ugh, I guess that's the right thing. But we can finish this. And there we go. But another reason why I am like taking this so seriously is I want to be submitting these projects also to awards to see what I'm capable of doing. Um, I mean, festivals, but uh, yeah, I'm just trying to grow in every film that I do, and I think this is just a great way to start. I feel like this being a free option, being in this class right now is, a great opportunity. But we do have, I'll do a little bit of announcement, but I do have another film coming out called Two Ways to Break. I will come out with I will definitely post a couple of the teasers and the proof of concept, but I am excited about that one. Should be coming out in the next couple of month. But, nonetheless, I think it was a great job, and I'm excited to get your guys' feedback. So please like, subscribe. I'm on pretty much every social media at Amster, AAHMSTER, and yeah, go follow. Keep up with the journey, and I appreciate you guys for watching.